He loved the pool. He loved the lake. He loved to dive. He was adventurous. Yeah, no, he was adventurous. Matthew was, he was always the thrill seeker. You know, if there was a 50-foot jump into the water, he would be the first one to take the jump. And so we're in a redwood forest in Montana. We discovered a Navy SEAL rope swing. It went up probably 200 feet. I said, listen, I'm the oldest. I've had a great life, so I'm going first. But Matthew was not having anything to do with that. And he said, no, Dad, no. You're way too old. There's no way you're going first. I'm going first. You watch. You're in a perfect spot to watch. Yeah, he always went first. That's just the way he was.
For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future too.
Matthew had visions of him dying early, and many. Dad, I had the strangest dream last night. It was a dream, but the dream was real.
When you call me, I will answer.
I want to say he was probably 19 at the time. He was in college. Finally he said, so, Dad, I don't know when, I don't know how, but I'm going to die before you. And I think I'm going to die relatively young. You know, at the time, I was very bothered by it, but I didn't dwell on it. I just thought, you know, Matthew is full of it. You know, he's, whatever. I said, well, it's a dream. Doesn't mean it's real. 6 months later, seriously, he has another dream. This time, there's more detail. He still doesn't know how he dies. He still doesn't know how old he is. I had the dream only because I'm supposed to tell you about it. I'm serious. This happened like 4 or 5 times.
I will love you and protect you.
I knew that he was on hydrocodone for his headaches, but I had no idea that hydrocodone was even an opioid. I mean, it's hydrocodone. It's a pain reliever. That's all I knew. It's a good pain reliever. Matthew swore by it. It was a prescription that the doctors gave him. Then he was given OxyContin. Well, and I said, so what's the difference? Well, I do better on OxyContin. He had 3 TBIs from defending his roommate in a parking lot one night over a girl, and that put him in the ICU for 7 days, and then he had headaches and seizures and all kinds of things for a couple of years. And we got him past all that, but he got hooked on hydrocodone and OxyContin.
When there's so much strife and hurting and a world with so much need.
You know, when the prescription stopped and he started going after street heroin, I had no idea, of course. We're at Asian City Restaurant, which is his favorite restaurant in Humble, Kingwood. He tells me that the Lord himself is going to take him early because I will not accomplish my God-given mission without him passing. And I said, well, oh, pray tell, what is my God-given mission? He said, I don't know. I have no idea. But you will know. Well, you can imagine how I felt. Put yourself in my shoes. You've just been very happy. He's recovering, he's doing well. I'm really pissed, not at him, but at God. Because at this point, I know it's true. I can't tell you really why, other than the repetition over several years, but I know that he's telling me the truth. And it's impossible to understand why the good Lord would want to take him so I could accomplish some mission. And that's how I went home that night. Just screaming at God. Like, you don't have to take Matthew. Why? Just tell me what it is. Send an angel. Do something. Just tell me what it is. So I finally got home and I decided, well, this is going nowhere. And I could tell God was not listening. I had no assurance of anything. I had no peace. And I went to sleep, right? And the next day he was dead. He died the next day.
Gives everything meaning in heaven's man's greatest prize is where all real treasure lies.
It's a terrible, empty feeling.
And in the beginning,
He must have gotten up and the chair slipped out from behind him, and his head, that occipital area where his head had been cracked open, the corner of the wall behind him to the bathroom hit that occipital area. And the neurosurgeon had told us if he ever hits that area again, he could die instantly. In the coroner's report, there was an indication that there was some residual substances in his bloodstream.
when we see the world through others' eyes, we finally see the good.
He had probably taken either heroin or something prior to his accidental death. I was really upset, very upset, for a long time. And I mean, it was months before I suddenly knew what my mission was.
For I know
You were going to go ahead and send an email to Nathan.
Get back at about 80%, right?
Right.
your heart and your mind with truth. There's no
God has said,
darkness
"You're
that
it."
can cloud your
This is what God wants me to do. God wants me to be His instrument of recovery. Opioid addiction goes across almost all ages. The overdose death rate is high and climbing. None of us had any idea how addictive opioid prescriptions are. We had no idea. In my opinion, it's about 95% of all opioid addicts started through prescription drugs. They didn't just say to their friend, "Oh, can I have that heroin IV?" Everybody's afraid of
no
that.
darkness that can cloud your view.
People think that heroin addicts are just bad people. They're losers. That's what people think. Till it happens to your own son or daughter, right? Or your spouse, or your brother, or your sister. Until that happens, and then you have to struggle with it.
I will love you and protect you.
Matthew had everything going for him. Are you kidding? I mean, we're talking genius IQ, witty. His friends loved him. He was the life of the party. He had everything going for him. No, he didn't want to be addicted to heroin. Oh gosh, no. And he fought it hard. Went to 90 days of inpatient rehab, fighting it.
Love is deeper than the ocean.
When you're addicted, you're addicted. You need it.
Across the sea.
Opioids work on your brain in a completely different manner than other drugs. The brain will not produce serotonin, dopamine, or the other endorphins that you need to actually be happy, to actually live a normal life. The brain believes that it must have heroin, an opioid, present to be able to produce the endorphins.
For I know the road
Yeah, I always see this as
leads you home.
Yeah, and it is.
It's
Yeah.
the way, the truth
This was his
that guides
Indian headdress that he absolutely loved, and so we keep it there. That's where he had it. Remember who they're supposed to be. Don't remember who they just were 5 minutes ago, where they cussed you out and told you that you were the worst person on earth for not letting them have their drug. When I took his car away from him, he actually tied sheets together, and that was his anchor, and then he rappelled all the way down the side of the house.
set you free. Set you free.
It's much better to spend a year of your time and money getting your child better than to spend 30 years regretting that you didn't.
So be strong, for you are not alone.
Somebody has to be there
You call
and give them hope.
my name.
They've lost hope. Hope is gone in their life.
I will answer when you need me. I'll be
So someone else has to enter their life and give them hope. And that's what Matthew's hope is all about. My hope is that I save thousands and thousands of people. I'm going first. You watch. You're in a perfect spot to watch.